I don't have a script. I should write a script for these at some point.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Watching the Movie Reviews.
Nice.
I'm Hugo,
I'm Jazmin.
and we review movies, and also we talk about movies
Nice.
in a more in-depth style. Yeah. So two movies came out. You know,
You
and
told me
that's
so,
something to
yeah.
be celebrated.
Oh, is it?
Because no movies
Have come out?
have
I mean, like decent movies. I feel like you're
like
trying
big.
to say.
Yeah, there's big budget movies, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Like these are like the first two
yeah,
big, like really big budget movies to come out since I don't know, like
yeah.
Mulan.
Probably, I guess. Yeah, I would say so. Like
Yeah.
movies people actually want. Like when people talk about movies that are coming out in 2020, these are the ones people were looking forward to. Let's say versus like Scooby Doo or Trolls or something. I don't know. Whatever came out, that was kind of like whatever.
Yeah, or all those ones that smaller ones that came out on Netflix and stuff that people weren't gonna go pay.
Yeah.
To the theater anyway. Anyways, with that said, the first movie we're watching is
Wonder Woman, 1984.
My life hasn't been what you probably think it has. We all have our struggles.
Have you ever been in love?
A long, long time ago. You?
So many times. Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, so we watched Wonder Woman. Jazmin, you've seen the first Wonder Woman, right?
I've seen it once.
In the theater.
I'm pretty sure. Maybe twice, actually, in theaters. I think I liked it so much that when somebody said, hey, I want to watch this one, I was like, okay.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So you liked the first one a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the first one. I wasn't expecting to like it because all the DC movies aren't, at that time especially, they weren't that good.
Mm.
So I wasn't expecting much, but I ended up liking it a lot more than I thought I would. I think it was one of my favorites of the year.
Yeah, I don't even remember when it was released. So.
2017.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So then this movie, 1984, what did you think of it? What were you expecting out of it?
So I don't really keep up a lot with the DC universe, but I feel like this one doesn't really, it's not intertwined with anything as far as I know. It just seems to be its own standalone thing.
Yeah, I'd say both the Wonder Woman movies are.
I mean, they're kind of like set in the past, so it doesn't really interact with any of the
Justice League stuff. Yeah.
I was, I guess, you know what? I don't think I love superhero movies as much as I feel like a lot of people do.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're fine, but I don't necessarily feel like I look forward to their releases. So I was kind of like, we'll see. I like the first one. I'm sure this one's going to be fine.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like lukewarm expectations, I'd say.
Yeah. So what'd you think of it?
I thought there was like some kind of cheesiness to it. That I just
you didn't like?
It's not that I didn't like, but I guess although I had kind of had maybe not lukewarm expectations, but I kind of expected more from it.
Well,
I just feel like everything was very kind of superficial.
Well, the first one's pretty cheesy itself.
I guess maybe I don't know. I don't remember the first one so much, but I remember I liked it, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it
was fine. It was like a generic action movie.
And that's what a lot of people are saying. That it's like an empty spectacle.
Like, it's like very superficial. Like, I don't know. Especially after watching Soul, I was expecting. I don't know. Yeah.
I like the cheesiness of this a lot. I like the simplicity of it and the sort of lightness of it, like fluff. It's
you know what
fluff.
This reminds me of? So I like watching like kind of like fantasy animes, and there's like, and I guess how these Marvel movies also do something similar, right? But these just kind of feel like episodes where there's like, not super villain, just a villain.
Villain of the week.
Villain of the week, yeah, and they have to defeat him. So it's kind of like, okay, yeah. And
this felt like that.
It kind of felt like that.
Yeah.
Except it was like 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, it's 2.5 hours long. I don't think it needs to be 2.5 hours.
No, I think it could easily have been like an hour. You could have cut off 45 minutes in that movie.
What would you cut out?
I I mean, okay, I feel like the intro was kind of meh.
Pointless. Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I feel like because it's trying to prove like a point, like, oh, don't cheat, blah, 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 lies, blah, 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 which is like the premise.
Oh,
right?
you know what? I didn't even connect that until right now.
And I'm like, it's not, I don't think it's necessary, right?
No.
It's like something, it's such a like cheesy, what's it, a cliche, kind of like a, what's it called, a proverb, not proverb, what am I saying? Like a fable kind of thing. I don't know what I'm trying to say, like, I don't know. And it's like, yeah, everybody knows that.
Like it's
not, it's not like something, wow, that I needed to take up the first, 20 minutes of the movie.
Right.
I don't know.
I feel like you could just assume Wonder Woman doesn't want to cheat.
You don't, I don't even think that's necessary to add. I don't know. I feel like it's like, you're not that deep, you know? It's not that deep for you to...
Not that deep. Well, the theme itself isn't that deep either.
Yeah,
it's not, what was the theme in the first one anyway? The first one wasn't that deep either, though, I think.
No. I think it's kind of like self-discovery, maybe? I don't remember.
Yeah, something, because she turns out to be the weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. Yeah. I mean, I still like, in terms of like the DC universe,
this one's...
like, would I take the cheesiness of like a Saturday morning cartoon versus like a super self-serious movie? I would take the Saturday morning cartoon.
I mean, you did make me, I didn't watch, you were watching Man of Steel the other day and I was just there and I had no interest in it whatsoever.
Yeah, it's like very like, oh Jesus, oh look at us trying to
like on the nose.
Very symbolic and trying to mean something. But it it's also kind of an empty spectacle in its way. But this is a better empty spectacle.
Yeah, I guess so. It's a lot more entertaining, right?
Yeah, and the action is a lot better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
It looks a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say the action's a lot better than even the first Wonder Woman.
Okay.
Because I feel like, Patty Jenkins directed this. You know who she is?
She sounds very familiar.
She directed a Monster with Charlize Theron.
Mm-hmm.
And so like Wonder Woman was her first action
movie?
big.
She looks good.
Yeah. And I think this, like, she feels more comfortable in that world now. So that's why the action sequences feel a lot better in this one.
Did she direct the first one?
She directed the first one, yeah.
Okay, but I think it's fine. Yeah.
Well, I think in the first one it felt like kind of outdated. Like I don't know if you paid attention to that, but there's in the 2000s there was this obsession with like a speed up slow mo hit. Okay. And Wonder Woman has a lot of that.
I feel like the DC movies in general kind of have. I don't know actually.
Well, that's because Zack Snyder.
I've seen like two maybe.
Zack Snyder did
not
that
including
style.
These ones.
Made that style.
Okay.
And he directed Man of Steel and
Batman vs Superman. Okay, because I recognize that from Batman vs Superman, and I've seen that one, and that one's also like really long.
That one is that was almost 3 hours. There's a cut.
It's very forgettable though.
There's a director's cut that's like about 30 minutes longer, and I remember at the time people were like, "Oh, it's so much better than the theatrical." I don't like Man of Steel or Batman v Superman, and I don't think Batman v Superman is all that worse than Man of Steel. I think they're about as equal. But people were like, "Oh, the new Batman v Superman cut, director's cut, is a lot better." And I was like, "I'm not gonna watch 30 more minutes of a movie I don't like." And apparently, it doesn't really make it any better.
Okay.
Yeah. But this is fun.
Yeah.
This was fun. This was nice. Pedro Pascal's in this.
Yeah.
And he's chewing up the scenery.
Chewing up the scenery?
Yeah, he looks like a coke addict.
Oh, I mean, isn't that like an 80s thing?
Yeah. So, but he does great.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, it's great. He's
I feel like Kristen Wiig's character is pretty forgettable. Like,
you think so?
I feel like she was underutilized, to be honest. I feel like they could have done more with her, like given her more scenes. I don't know. I feel like
I do.
I don't know.
I liked the intro for her, and I liked sort of more of the arcs in it. But then the sort of resolution of her arc is kind of like left hanging, and it's kind of like, what do we? Yeah. Like, what,
I mean, I kind of feel like
that big of a
this,
payoff.
The payoff, because usually you expect the villains to like get something, right? Like get justice.
Sure.
This was very like almost Disney like ending.
Because the villains got what they want.
Yeah. And I was kind of like, I guess so.
Yeah.
Not that I wanted him to be punished necessarily, but it just was wrapped up so neatly, right? It wasn't messy,
Yeah.
like you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I think well, like the sort of main conflict feels really like messy, and it's like it happens really really fast.
Yeah.
It didn't feel gradual, and then it felt like at some point it gets really like cartoony.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I think that's like a big
Problem with it?
no, not a problem with it, but it is like the style of it is like which is going.
I mean, obviously it's a comic book.
I mean, comic book
And
can be
things
serious.
like those, but I feel like comic books and like animations can go a little bit wacky and still hold their seriousness.
Yeah, like
and
the
I think
Marvel
that's just
movies.
because.
Like Thor Ragnarok, I feel like is probably one of the sillier movies.
But
it
you mean
still
like
holds,
comedic
serious.
or silly?
Yeah, silly. It's pretty silly. You know, it takes place in space. Hulk is like
But I think
Yeah.
was that thing that one lady you like to see the suspension of
disbelief.
yes. And this one's kind of like okay. I don't know. I don't.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Well, not that I don't have a problem with the cartooniness of it. Like it's just super cartoony, and it's like I think this is like the direction DC's heading now, where like at first they were like trying to be dark and serious, and then at some point they were trying to catch up with Marvel,
Yeah,
and now they're just like going full on into
Marvel.
like no, not Marvel. It's like more than Marvel. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
more
sure.
in like lighthearted than Marvel. Like it's like completely different. Like this movie
But
doesn't
even
fit.
then, I feel like Marvel. I don't know. And
Like,
I haven't watched
yeah.
a lot of Marvel, but sorry,
No.
finish your train of thought.
This movie doesn't fit with like any of the other movies.
I wouldn't know.
Like it barely fits with the Wonder Woman movie in terms of like tone. It doesn't really fit because Wonder Woman's still kind of grounded,
Sure. I
but
don't
this
remember.
is like way out there. It's like so colorful
Okay.
and so yeah.
Okay.
It looks great though. I thought it looked great.
Hmm.
Do you think so?
Yeah. Sure.
Sure. Yeah, Kristen Wiig is in there.
Yeah.
She's a great. She's supposed to play like a shy she's supposed to be ugly or something.
Maybe like lacking confidence.
Oh, maybe.
So maybe not necessarily ugly, but she just her beauty or like doesn't shine through because
Maybe.
she's like invisible, like a wallflower kind of.
I still think like if you're like a 50-year-old woman, you know, and you look at her before
Yeah.
her transformation. I mean, that's still
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
That's
She looks yeah.
yeah. Spoilers, of course.
Of course.
Now.
This is my one gripe with the movie.
Hmm.
I know the invisible jet. I didn't even know it was like Wonder Woman's thing.
Yeah. And
But like the way they went to it, I don't know. The way they decided to build, I don't know what I'm trying to say. The way they decided to build
to
that,
it, that moment. Yeah.
that moment or like the origin of the invisible jet was kind
Yeah.
of dumb.
Why?
Because obviously Wonder Woman's been alive for 7 decades, they say, past her interaction with Chris Pine's character. I don't know it. So she has to have access to fake passports
Oh yeah.
easily.
Yeah.
There's no reason for her to be like, oh man, you know what? You need a passport. You know,
We
that's
just do a jet.
that's the easier option. Not that I wouldn't know how to falsify.
Falsified documents.
Yeah, because obviously she
Wait,
knows.
and why does he need
Because they need to go to Cairo or something.
Yeah, but he might have a passport
He might have a passport.
because it's a different guy, right?
Yeah. Oh shoot. Yeah.
Yeah.
His face is still the same.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She's the only one that sees him.
I feel like they could have done that in such a much more interesting way. I just feel like it was done very lazily. And I was like, yeah, whatever. That's cheap.
It's like, oh, all the airports are down.
Yeah.
Let's steal
Or
it.
like, yeah. Or like, we need to get somewhere fast.
Yeah.
Let's go steal it. Yeah, like you said. It could have been done in a much more creative or like high stakes kind of way. And this was just felt really, like, I guess like you said, very silly.
I will say that the stakes for this movie don't feel very high
Not at all.
for most of it until like I guess the third act or you know when he's all like and then like you know
Everybody
it's like,
starts dying.
you know
The world starts falling apart.
yeah, basically the world starts falling apart. You know, that sort of ending that we're used to in superhero movies. So there's not that much of a build up. It feels like
Yeah, like the climax is kind of unsatisfying, I'd say.
you'd say so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still like this.
I think that the climax was just super cheesy, right?
Yeah.
Because like
Oh yeah.
it's like everybody's like, because I guess with the Mayan guy or whatever who was like, oh well, the Mayans didn't want to do this,
and we're
right,
yeah,
and
yeah.
supposedly
yeah,
we're better people than the
it's,
Mayans. Like the
uh,
whole world was like, oh yeah, I resend
Yeah.
my wish. No, that's so like everybody resends their wish, right?
right, yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like, no, that would not happen. I thought that she'd have to kill him. Like, I thought Kristen Wiig was gonna die too, because she's like, I'm sorry, Barbara, and then she drowns her or something, and she
And it
didn't die.
electrocutes her.
Yeah, I was like, what? I mean, I don't know, whatever.
I don't know.
The ending was just super cheesy, and I was like,
Because it ends with like, she wins them over by just talking to them.
yeah. It's like,
Which yeah.
I don't know.
And how like why would anyone? Why are people listening to her?
I don't know. Well, she's just some lady. I don't know.
Yeah, you can't even see her face.
Yeah.
It's just a gold screen.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was okay. I think the ending kind of felt very
Forced.
uneventful.
Yeah.
Not uneventful. I guess forced. No, it felt boring. Not boring.
Try and find the right
It
word.
felt plain and simple, just dumb. And I don't know.
Yeah, it's dumb fun, man. I like it a lot.
It's okay. Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's an action movie.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I just feel like with this one, there's like no real threat. So I just didn't. I wasn't
Yeah,
worried.
the villain was kind of weak on
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Both villains were very weak on this.
Yeah, yeah. And I think Cheetah, I think her name's Cheetah, I think Kristen Wiig's.
Sure.
And I think she's supposed to be like the main villain or something.
I don't know.
She's got like a pet cheetah with her, and
Oh,
it's like
wow.
a huge thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, oh, this movie was supposed to come out.
In the summer?
No, it was supposed to come out December 2019.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then it got out of the way because of Star Wars. So they moved it to July 2020, which is July was when the first one was released.
Okay.
And then obviously the pandemic happened, so they moved it to December of this year.
Yeah.
And then obviously things weren't clearing up, so then they moved it again to the summer of next year. And then they moved it back to this. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, this is the first movie of HBO Max is releasing on their streaming service. The big, their big Warner Brothers slate film. You think that's an interesting idea?
I don't know. Well, wait, I don't think anybody knows what's gonna happen. So I guess they got to try different things, different avenues.
Sure. Yeah. So would you recommend Wonder Woman 1984?
Yeah, it's fun.
It's dumb, but
Yeah.
it's fun, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's entertaining. you know?
Yeah. I would. I think I liked it. I think Patty Jenkins is obviously good at filmmaking, and that's great. I think the problem lies with like the writing of it. I don't know who wrote it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see where the DC universe is going. I don't know where it's going
I don't know
anymore. Like, what's next?
Either. I don't think they know either.
I think,
I mean, Robert
is
Pattinson's
next?
Batman, right?
Oh yeah, Robert Pattinson is Batman now.
I don't know.
That looks great. I'm excited for that.
Sure.
Oh, James Gunn is doing a Suicide Squad movie.
Oh.
You know who James Gunn is? He did the Guardians movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they fired him.
They
or
fired
something?
him. He went to DC.
Nice.
And then Disney hired him again because they messed up so badly.
Yeah.
But it's a Suicide Squad. It's called the Suicide Squad. And it's technically a reboot of the first Suicide Squad.
Good.
But also kind of a sequel,
Oh wow.
And it's weird. Who knows what they're doing? They don't know what they're
They
doing.
don't know what they're doing. That's okay. Nobody
But
cares.
none of us know. None of us know what we're doing in life.
True. True.
It's all art.
That's just a trash can.
It's just a trash can. Yeah.
So, Jasmine, we watched another movie today.
Yeah.
We watched 2 movies in a row today.
Yeah. You're a
Wow.
monster.
What was it?
We watched Soul.
What would you want to be known for on Earth? We only have a short time on this planet. You want to become the person that you were born to be? Don't waste your time on all the junk of life.
What am I doing?
Spend your precious hours doing what will bring out the real you. brilliant, passionate you that's ready to contribute something meaningful into this world.
The new Pixar movie.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time a Pixar movie came out?
Onward.
Onward. Oh yeah,
March of this year. Or was it 2019? It was
this year. Yeah, because it came out
right
It was
before.
like the last.
It was. I think it was the
movie.
first thing that was done. It was streamed right.
Right.
I
Almost
think
right
it was.
away.
I think it was released and then they pulled it out and streamed it.
It was released right when things were getting worse. So
Yeah.
it's actually I think it's like the lowest
Yeah.
opening for a Pixar film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not its fault.
No.
Yeah, but yeah, we saw Soul, which I was excited for. It's supposed to come out in the summer of this year. I saw the trailer last year. Why are you shaking your legs so much?
Oh, I just gotta poop.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. I thought you were nervous or something.
No.
Okay. What was I saying?
Saw the trailer and.
Oh yeah, I saw the trailer. I liked it a lot. And I was waiting for this. I was anxiously waiting for this. It was one of my most anticipated movies of the year. Oh, Wonder Woman was my most anticipated movie
Oh wow!
of this
There
year.
you go.
Back when movies were supposed to
Come out.
come out. Yeah. So, what'd you think of it?
I was vaguely aware of Soul. I'm pretty sure I had seen like the little blue greenish blob at one point somewhere. But I never saw the trailer, so I didn't really know. I guess I kind of had an idea about like death or something was involved because Soul.
Yeah.
I wasn't there a bit of controversy that they had to like redo something because it was racist or something. I don't know. Is that a different movie?
I think that was Wreck-It Ralph.
Was it? Oh, maybe.
I think when they had to redesign Princess Tiana.
Oh, I don't remember. So I was really not sure what to expect, I guess. But very enjoyable movie overall.
Well, I thought it was gonna be like Inside Out, and I thought like it was gonna be like a few minutes in the real world, and then he dies.
Yeah.
And we're in like the sort
Afterlife.
of afterlife sort of
Limbo.
thing. Yeah. And I will say without any spoilers, Jasmine.
Without any spoilers.
For a bit,
Oh, sure.
at least for the beginning part. Without any spoilers, it goes places where I wasn't expecting it to go.
I would agree, and
Yeah.
I think that's why I enjoyed it because I feel like with Wonder Woman, it was very predictable where things were heading.
Yeah.
And this one wasn't, and that was refreshing, I suppose.
Yeah, I will say, yeah, it's because I think we're all used to the Pixar formula.
Yeah.
I think they were like, okay, let's try to mix it up.
Yeah, and I think what was also different from other Pixar movies is either obviously they do like some sort of inanimate object or like a child maybe or like teens. I don't know. I think they're trying to venture off more appeal towards adults because obviously Onwards it was older teens, young adults.
Yeah, it was like a 20-year-old
protagonists, and then this one's like a middle-aged man.
Yeah, it is a middle-aged man. Yeah. That's so weird to say that middle-aged man is the lead character.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, who's Up? I guess was the.
I guess, but I guess there's what's his name? Kyle? No, Kevin? No, Russell.
Well,
maybe they do more older characters.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. I will say this is like their more mature movie.
Yeah.
And not to because it deals with death, but Coco also dealt with death.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Coco dealt with death a little less.
In your face.
No. Well, maybe, but I think like Coco's main focus wasn't on life or even like you could say one of the focuses on Coco. Yeah, it was family, but like in like following your dreams was part of it.
Yeah,
but it was like lesser than like the importance of family, which is like a Pixar thing, which is like family. What else is it? Onward is another one like that. And Toy Story, which is like your friends are your family or whatever. And this is the first one. You got a friend. And this is like it doesn't deal with family really at all.
I think this one is great if you're like a college student, you're going through an existential crisis. Right, because I feel like it has a lot of themes I guess most people struggle with, but I feel especially when you're that in transitioning period from like you're no longer a teen and you're supposed to be an adult.
Yeah, that
right?
weird, that transition stage where you're not really an adult, but
I think that's when like the questions of like finding a purpose, right, are super like meaningful. You want to do, like you want your career to be your passion or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's a lot what this movie's about, right?
About,
it's
yeah,
finding your
finding-
passion, finding
finding
your
your
spark,
passion.
is what they call it.
Yeah, and then obviously we learn stuff along the
Yeah.
way. There's also the sort of typical Pixar thing of two characters are in a journey together,
Yeah.
and they're kind of opposites. You know, so this is Jamie Foxx
Yes.
and
Tina
Tina Fey. And they work great with each other. I think they're very funny. You know, which is kind of hard to do in animation because a lot of the times you're not
With them.
in the same room.
I think you still have somebody
saying the lines, but you know that
It's
chemistry.
not the
It's not like, you know, Chris Pine and
yeah.
Gal Gadot have great chemistry, and you know that's very valuable. But this is great. It was very funny.
Yeah.
I laughed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Did you
laughed
laugh?
at this one? I usually don't laugh at movies.
You're very serious.
I don't know.
You don't know. Yeah, I laughed a lot. It's great. I liked a lot of the jokes because I know the trailer kind of put people off because they showed a soul dancing, like check out my moves, and then they were like shaking their butt or whatever, you know. And no,
I never saw that trailer.
No. Oh yeah, and it felt like something out of like Nomeo,
Okay.
you know those type of movies. But yeah, it's none of that really.
No.
It's a lot more sophisticated
Yeah.
humor, I would say. There's also a bunch of other voice actors like Richard Ayoade, who you don't know who he is, but he's a great British comedian. He's a director as well. You should watch The IT Crowd. He's in that. Anyways, and the music in this, fantastic. Fantastic. You didn't pay attention to it?
A little bit, and then I forgot.
Like when like they're in the soul world. Like purgatory?
No, I guess
Is
that was
purgatory?
they called it the U Seminary.
Oh yeah.
Or it was like this one's the Great Beyond. This was the Before Beyond or something like that.
Yeah,
They also
yeah.
refer to it
Yeah.
because they weren't like necessarily like in the afterlife. They were like because they that a good not a good person, but they're like where the new souls are formed.
Yeah. And there's these figures that are like lines.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to be gods, I suppose,
Yeah.
or something like that. But every time they're on screen, they play this music that's really like
Wacky. Not wacky.
not
Sorry.
wacky. It's like kind of. I was gonna say somber, but I don't think it's somber either. It's kind of weird, hard to describe, but it feels very like relaxing. I guess you know, it's kind of like if you're like at a spa, and
Like,
that type of music is playing, and a little bit ominous, but it's like you know what I mean.
Oh, like ethereal maybe.
Yes, that's exactly the word, Jazmin. That's great because this is made by the score is what's his name, Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, who did all the scores for The Social Network and Gone Girl, and it's fantastic. I think it's probably the best score of any Pixar movie. Michael Giacchino usually does the score. Do you know who he is?
No.
He's like the little John Williams. You know John Williams?
No.
He did the score for Star Wars and Indiana Jones.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. You lean to poop, huh?
No.
Yeah. And then speaking of spoilers.
Of course.
So we get they're in the soul world, and then they sort of he tries to go back to his body, right?
Yeah.
And he finds like a loophole because he's trying to go back and they won't let him. He finds a loophole. He goes in and then like they switch bodies. He's in a cat, and I wouldn't say sheep, but it's 22.
Yeah.
It ends up in his body. That was not
Unexpected.
unexpected, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, and then I definitely I theorized that like the whole premise was that he was gonna find that his spark wasn't actually piano, that it was like maybe mentoring or helping others, right?
Oh, because he's a teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's gonna find like that's fulfilling in itself, right? So I thought that
Oh,
was
yeah.
kind of, and I mean, ultimately that wasn't at all the point of the movie, right?
No.
It's not. You don't need a purpose in life. There's just
You just need the will to live.
It's the small things that make life worth living, right?
Yeah, and just
it's those moments that make you like, oh yeah,
just the want to live.
Yeah.
And that's like something that's not available in the soul world.
Yeah.
Whatever it's called. Because you can't taste, you can't
feel.
Can't feel. So it's very hard for anyone to be like, oh, this is what humanity is like.
Yeah.
Which is probably why a lot of people end up disappointed now.
Yeah. There's like a lot of cool things with I think Pixar does a really good job of being like witty with things, because when they're like that in that meditative state or whatever realm,
Yeah.
like when you get like when you lose your inspiration or something, it's because 22 like did something naughty, right?
Right.
And you're out of the zone. I think they call it the zone.
Yeah.
Or like when you're like
Oh,
caught up with an obsession, you become kind of like disconnected from life. Or, I don't know.
And that's like a very mature concept.
Yeah,
You know, it's like, I don't know if this is for kids.
I think,
if I'm
because I was
being honest.
thinking, I feel like for the most part, Pixar does a really good job of intertwining adult, or like not adult themes,
Making
but,
things for everyone, right?
yeah, like mature themes, while still making it easily digestible for children.
Yeah.
And I think that I thought it was going to linger more in the soul world, and I thought that would have been a little bit more appealing for children.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was a very realistic portrayal of the real world, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a wacky world at all. And like with Coco, that's a real world, but we spend most of that movie in that afterworld sort of place. So it's odd that it's and it's like a hard sort of. It feels like it's shot like in real life. Yeah.
And it's things I don't necessarily know if you're like 8-year-old, 8 and under. I feel like they'd have a hard time.
Yeah.
Enjoying this movie.
Yeah.
There's like obviously like some like wacky like body humor that
like they eat the pizza and they poop it right out. Yeah.
That kids would like would enjoy.
Love,
but I don't know if they could watch this movie in the entirety and then be like, oh, I want to watch Soul.
Yeah.
I don't think it has that rewatchability for young kids.
Young kids, yeah, because they want to watch something like
Frozen,
Toy Story, or Frozen. I'm old, so I said Toy Story.
No, Frozen. I don't get it. Frozen's been out for so long, and
people see like
little
young
kids still.
Kids
I used to work with kids.
I was 14 when it came out.
Frozen is still the ish.
Yeah.
Elsa is queen.
Oh, Frozen 2 did come out last year.
I guess so. I guess that kind of keeps it
alive. Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like, and not that I mind, because I like the fact that Pixar's like making
mature movies.
Yeah. I feel like it's. But I don't know if it. I don't think a younger child would enjoy watching this movie.
Because it deals a lot with like existentialism and existentialism, where like, what's the reason to live?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not a concept kids are going to understand.
And I think young kids can understand, like with Inside Out, I feel like it kind of deals with serious topics, right?
Like emotions, yeah.
But I feel like for the most part, kids at an early age are kind of taught like, you're happy, you're sad, you're angry.
Yeah. And so they're able to associate.
They can they can kind of relate to those concepts because they're not foreign. I feel like this is very foreign to them because they haven't lived at all. They haven't been able to accumulate regrets or existentialism,
Yeah, like I think probably like in teenage years when you start hitting those feelings, and then this movie probably like hit pretty hard. Yeah. At that point, I don't know. Maybe your kid would enjoy some of the humor. I don't know how much of the humor they would enjoy.
I think maybe like the stuff like with the cat too, like when he's like, yeah. I think they might find that funny.
I don't know.
The pants thing.
The pants thing, yeah. Pixar is still primarily for children, but what was I going to say? Oh yeah, like the sports reference that you talked about. Did you understand that?
Sports?
Yeah.
What?
You know how she's like, look, I've been messing with this team for years.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what team it was, but I'm sure.
It was apparently they were good at one point.
Oh, was it I don't remember.
The Knicks?
No.
I think,
was it maybe? You're right. I have no idea.
It's like a baseball team?
Yeah.
No. Basketball. Apparently they've been sucking for a few years. I only know that because I've heard it like secondhand, like so I was in the classroom.
I think this is a film more so for parents, though.
Yeah, I would say that.
And how, not necessarily just for them, but also like how. I feel like there's a moment that's more like parenting, where it's like when 22 just like she kind of thinks she doesn't have a purpose, and then, oh gosh, what was his name? Jerry? No.
Those are the gods.
The gods.
Yeah.
What was his name? I forgot it.
I can't remember.
Jamie Foxx's character's name is.
I don't know. I don't keep track of character
I don't
names.
remember.
Yeah. Whatever his name is.
I don't remember. Well, anyways, then he kind of goes into, because she goes into that like stone monster, dust monster kind of state, and then he goes in, and when he's visiting her or trying to get through, all her past mentors are kind of repeating all these things like, oh, you'll never have a purpose, you're this, you're an idiot, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Right, and she starts believing those things.
Yeah.
And I think that's I don't know, not necessarily parenting,
Abuse?
but that's very abusive.
Yeah, that's
right,
those are like,
because for them to be mentors, I think they do the exact opposite, because they're supposed to inspire something in her or in him. They, I don't know,
whatever.
In this new being, new soul, and they don't do a good job. And obviously, those are like the things she's obsessing over, right?
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
Yeah. And like she's obviously like internalized a lot of that,
Yeah.
where she doesn't think she's good enough to live.
Mhm.
That's why she
And I think,
primarily wants to stay.
and maybe, you know, when you're raising your children, you want to like help them find their purpose in life, or like find a path.
Find a reason to live.
And maybe it's not. I mean, obviously, we don't necessarily know what happens with Jamie Foxx's character, right? He reached his goal, but that's still like, we don't know if he gives up his teaching position or if he.
Yeah.
And I think that's because that's not important ultimately.
It's just about being alive.
It's just about being alive.
Yeah, because he does his ultimate dream was to be in a band or whatever, and you know he does it, and you know he's basically a permanent member of a famous person's band or whatever. Is she famous?
I think she's well known in maybe like the jazz community. It seems like, at least.
Yeah, and then he's like, I don't feel any different.
It doesn't like feel fulfilling, maybe.
Yeah, and then he realizes that, you know, there's nothing that's gonna really fulfill. Again, like that's something that not even like you learn like kind of way down the road.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird.
Yeah. So it's like, I think that's why it's more so for parents and how like maybe they should interact with their children rather than being so maybe worried about, I don't know, obviously financial things are something you worry about, and that's not saying that they won't, but I guess sometimes it's nice just to live in the moment, I guess is what this movie's ultimately saying, you know? What's it called? Feel the breeze on your skin. I don't know. Something.
Yeah, the things around you.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, I loved it. I really enjoyed it.
And
my mom also liked it.
Yeah. I mean, it has a very broad, my mom doesn't like any movie. It has very broad appeal, obviously.
Well, my mom really likes animated movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Even if it's the B movie?
Oh, I'm sure she's fine with most animated movies.
Yeah. Anyways, this has a pretty good chance of getting a Best Picture nomination. Maybe it's because nothing has ever really come out this year.
I mean, maybe.
Other than like indie movies and stuff. There's no like studio push for a movie. That being said, I feel like it shouldn't be that big of a deal that an animated movie gets a Best Picture nomination.
I feel like, not that they should get rid of the Best Animated Picture category, but I feel like that kind of disqualifies animated pictures from getting.
Yeah, it's like foreign films with that, with the foreign film Oscar. Yeah. Until recently. Yeah. It's been like.
So maybe, who knows?
Yeah, maybe. Well, you know, Toy Story 3 got nominated. Up got nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah.
And I don't think those were any more deserving than stuff like Coco or
I don't know.
Whatever.
I think Beauty and the Beast got nominated. I think after Beauty and the Beast,
that was the first
they're like, let's make an animated picture category.
Yeah. Because we don't want to compete with real films.
It seems like that was the thing, right? Oh, these are children's
films. These are children's films.
And I feel like this one, I mean, obviously, I feel like other countries, especially like, I feel like Japan especially, maybe is a little bit more well known for
animation.
And for making mature animations where they're not something you would take your kids to watch. Because it's like heavy themes. Yeah.
And in America, adult animation kind of means more raunchy sort of stuff, and not necessarily like stuff like this, right? So and it looks beautiful. I mean, it's a gorgeous. It's probably the best looking Pixar movie.
I mean,
ever.
It's the most recent.
It's the most recent one. So
I'd hope so.
It'll be Onward came out, and that I don't think that looks nearly as good. This has like a distinct style to it,
okay.
and it doesn't look like a typical Pixar movie. You know what I mean? It looks different. Like it looks like they were trying
to make
something
it
different and
yeah.
something like they were doing something special with this movie, and they sort of knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, can you ask me if I could recommend?
Could you recommend this movie?
Yeah, I would absolutely. Thank you for asking. Yes,
You're
it's funny you should ask. Would you recommend this movie?
Yeah, of course. This is a great movie.
Yeah.
I would say, maybe not for kids, but it's a great
Yeah.
movie.
13 and up.
13 and up, I think it'd be great.
Yeah, they enjoy it. Not that anyone below
You can watch it
can't
with your
enjoy
younger
it, but
kids.
yeah.
So what do you want to be remembered for?
Probably for doing this funny cowboy dance.
Great.
So, Jasmine, it's the end of the year. It's Christmas.
Yeah,
It's about to be 2021.
nice.
Are you excited for what's in store for the movie industry?
Hopefully theaters don't go under.
Yeah. Hopefully. They just got a bunch of aid
Nice.
from the
I
government.
just saw this. I saw a picture somewhere, like maybe it was like maybe a tweet or a Tumblr. I don't remember where it was from. And I was like, oh, I miss this or something, the sensation. And I was like, like after a movie ends, like they turn on like the lights for the stairs, and then you just walk down.
Yeah.
That's what they're talking about. They miss the
Yeah.
sensation of
That
after you were
was
done watching a
just
movie. Just
feeling satisfied.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who knows
Hopefully.
when we'll feel that way again? Because it's very different. I think it's still enjoyable watching it at home, but it's there's so many more distractions though.
Yeah. Your phone.
Your parents.
Your parents. If you're living in a noisy house. It's
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully things will clear up. This year went by fast, so
Yeah, it was great. Like,
it was not a great year. I don't think for anyone it was a great year.
I had a good year.
I wouldn't go out advertising that.
I had a good year. I'm just kidding, losers. Just kidding. No, it's been a rough year.
Yeah. So good,
We'll see. We'll see.
yeah. Stay safe. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.